You've been lied to about AI taking your job. But first, let me drop the contrarian truth that nobody's talking about. The people telling you that AI is going to destroy the job market are literally getting paid to make you scared. And I'm not making this up. Scott Galloway just wrote a whole piece about this called Apocalypse No. His exact words, the AI job apocalypse isn't data-driven, it's narrative-driven. Engineered by people who profit when you're scared. Fear is the product, and capital is the outcome. Another piece by Dan Chang straight up called this whole thing the AI job loss hoax. His take, influencers, consultants, and trainers are monetizing your anxiety, selling you survival courses for an AI apocalypse that hasn't actually happened. And get this, Fortune reported that most of the layoffs being blamed on AI are not even caused by AI. Companies are just using AI as the convenient excuse for headcount cuts that they were going to do anyways. So while everyone else is busy being scared, smart people are quietly using Claude AI to land brand new online jobs that pay just as well or better than the old ones. And today I'm going to be giving you 5 of them that you can start landing this week. And not just the jobs, I'm going to be walking you through exactly how to do each one with Claude AI step by step so that you walk away knowing the work, not just the title. Now, if you appreciate me making this type of content, let me know by gently tapping that like button below. And here's how this video works. I'm gonna give you the 5 online jobs ordered from easiest to land to the highest pay. And for every single one, I'm gonna show you exactly how to use Claude AI to do the work and what to charge. And toward the end of this video, I'm gonna give you the biggest secret to actually landing one of these. It's not Upwork and it's not Fiverr, but it is something that my client Josh used to get Fortune 50 companies, we're talking Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Google, chasing him down to offer him jobs. Companies that literally have a lower acceptance rate than Harvard or Yale. So stick around for that and let's jump into it right now. All right, first one we're gonna talk about is the ghostwriter. Now, there's many different types of ghostwriting that you can do, but specifically, we're gonna be focused on YouTube script ghostwriting. With that being said, you can apply a lot of the same principles to Twitter or X, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, newsletters, etc., etc. Now, here's the deal. Every successful YouTuber hits a wall where they have all the ideas in their head, but they hate sitting down to write the scripts. And that's where you come in. And by the way, this is coming from someone who owns a YouTube channel with over 1 million subscribers, so I know this market better than almost anybody. Now, the pay range here is $200 to $2,000 per script starting out, and it doesn't start there. Because here's the upgrade that nobody tells you about. Because once you've ghostwritten a few scripts, you can level up to a creative director role. And this is where you're not just writing the words, but you're actually directing the entire video. And that's where the money can jump to 3K, 5K, even 10K a month per client. And think of it like a career ladder in a restaurant. You start as the line cook, you make the dish that someone else designed, that's the ghostwriter. Then you get promoted to sous chef. You start shaping the menu. That's the scriptwriter. Then one day you become the head chef. You design every single dish on the menu, and that's the creative director. So same kitchen, same skills, just way more responsibility and way more money. Now, there are entire agencies right now like Script Doctor, Patty Galloway's team, and dozens of others charging YouTubers $2,000 to $5,000 per script for top tier script writing. And the editors and creative directors on those teams are making more than most software engineers. And those agencies are, of course, powered by AI on the back end. And the ones using it well are outproducing the ones that aren't by about 5 to 1 or more. And here's where Claude AI gets crazy. Instead of writing one prompt over and over, you build a Claude skill that captures a very specific creator's voice. Then, every time you write for that creator, the skill kicks in automatically. Now you've got a reusable system. And the script that used to take you 6 hours now takes you maybe an hour or an hour and a half. Same client, same quality, but way more profit margin because you can make them faster. Now here's how to start. Pick 5 YouTubers in a niche that you understand, DM them on Instagram or YouTube directly, pitch 1 free sample script for their next video. Out of the 5 DMs, at least 1 will say yes. Deliver the sample using your Claude skill. And by the way, we will give you a sample Claude skill for how to actually write scripts, and I'll put that down in the description and the pinned comment below. You can take that as a baseline, and then you can actually make it unique for each client. And one of the best ways to do that is to simply train it on the client's existing scripts. Now from there, you're in. Land your first paid client in 2 to 3 weeks and start at $300 to $500 per script and then raise your rates after 3 clients. Hey, quick break. I'm going to be doing a live training this week on how to start a YouTube channel step-by-step for beginners. This is going to be for people who want to start a channel, but they don't know what niche to pick, what videos to make, or how to actually get started the right way. And it's a completely free training, no strings attached. In fact, I'm giving away
even more bonuses at the training. So just as an example, I'm going to be giving away my niche validator. This is going to be available both for ChatGPT as well as Claude, which is a super valuable piece of software where you can finally figure out what the best niche for you is. So do not miss out on this training. Make sure you sign up for it down in the description and the pinned comment below, because you only get it if you join the training. So if you don't join now, you might miss it. But that being said, in the workshop, you'll get to meet me, and you'll get to ask me questions directly. So I look forward to seeing you in there. So click the link in the description and the pinned comment below, put it in your calendar. And if for whatever reason you missed out on it or you weren't able to attend, make sure you still click that link, because we might be having workshops in the future as well, and you'll be the first to know about it. So yeah, hope to see you there. And now back to your regularly scheduled content.
All right, next is the big page cache, and that is a sales page copywriter. Now, all of the other types of copywriting, I basically just included under ghostwriting, right? So again, I mentioned all of them: YouTube, Twitter X, newsletters, email, etc., etc. But there's one type of copywriting that, in my opinion, is a bit different, and that is sales page copywriting. So this is where you actually write the copy on a sales page, or you write the copy that goes into what's known as a VSL, or video sales letter. Now, the reason this is different is because it requires a deep dive on the demographics and the psychographics that you're writing the sales page for, whereas a lot of the other ones don't require nearly as deep of a dive on that. And we'll get into how to do that here in a moment. But if you want to make the most money per project on this entire list, this is probably it. I've paid over $10,000 for a funnel, for instance. And of course, you can actually make a little bit more money if you do the actual copy for the funnel, but you also actually set up the funnel itself. And it's really not that hard to do, especially with software like Go High Level. Sales page copywriters typically charge $1,000 to even $10,000 per page. And the really good ones charge $10,000 and above. And the best ones charge a percentage of revenue on top of that. Now, why so much? Because a sales page directly determines whether a business makes money or doesn't. And a good sales page can 5x a launch, and a bad one can sink a 6-figure product. So clients are not cheap on this. And a sales page is the most leveraged piece of writing in the entire marketing world. Get it right, and one page can generate millions of dollars. So think of a sales page like the cash register at the front of a store. Everything else in the marketing, the ads, the emails, the social media posts, those are the aisles that walk people to the register. But if the register is broken, none of it matters. Nobody's going to be able to give you money. And that's why business owners will pay you $5,000 or $10,000 to fix the register, because everything else they're spending money on doesn't work without you. So there are freelancers on Upwork and X that charge $500 to $2,000 per landing page, and they are writing 3 to 5 per week. So that is $1,500 to $10,000 in a single week. So one freelancer, for instance, publicly tracked her rate at $500 per landing page with AI in the mix, and she does multiple per week. So either way, it's a really good income. But here's the framework prompt. You drop in a product brief, Claude AI gives you a full conversion-ready sales page in under 5 minutes. Now, that's gonna be a good sales page, but it's not gonna be a great sales page. A great sales page is gonna be made by doing lots of research on the demographic of the actual prospect that you're selling to. You basically wanna know them better than they know themselves. Now, there's several ways to do this. If the prospect has actual data from their clients, for instance, sales calls, coaching calls with their clients, etc., you can mass download all of that data, upload it into Claude, and that's gonna help you understand the prospect on a much deeper level. We did this, for instance, with our clients, and it is absolutely phenomenal. Now, if the client doesn't have any customer data, that's okay as well. What I recommend to do is you can either use Claude and then integrate a scraper into Claude and then scrape a bunch of different websites like reddit.com and Twitter or X, get information on the client demographic, and then use that as the insider information that you use to create your copy. Another really good tool to use with this is Manus. However, Claude will suffice, but you do have to download the right scrapers, etc. Manus is a little bit more automatic. But yeah, you would want to build a 3-spec sales page for fake products in 3 different niches. So you could do coaching, courses, and e-com. And then you'd want to post them on a simple card or Notion site. Then you'd want to DM 10 course creators on X asking if they'd like a free landing page audit. And from the audits, 1 to 2 will hire you for a rewrite. Then you can do your first gigs for free, or if you feel a little bit frisky, you could charge $500 to $1,000. Then after 3 paid jobs, you can raise to a $2,000 minimum. All right, next is the local AI plumber, or in other words, the AI consultant for small businesses. Now, let me explain the name here. The reason your local plumber makes great money isn't because plumbing is glamorous. It's because nobody else wants to do it. And when something breaks, business owners will pay anything to make it work again. And that's exactly what AI is right now for small businesses. They know they should be using it and they've heard the hype, but they have no idea how to actually set it up. And they'll happily pay someone $1,000 to $5,000 to come in and get it working. Now the pay here is $100 to $300 an hour for consulting, $1,000 to $5,000 per setup project, and these clients tend to renew because once you've set them up, they need ongoing help. And here's the thing, you don't need to be a tech genius. You just need to know more about Claude AI than your client does, which pretty much nobody knows anything about AI right now. So it's pretty easy to get to that level. Only 5% of the population right now even regularly uses AI. So think about it like this. A plumber doesn't invent water. They just connect the pipes. You're doing the same thing with AI. You are not building Claude. You're not training models, you're just connecting Claude to the right parts of the business so that it flows where it needs to flow. So go on any local business Facebook group right now, plumbers, real estate agents, restaurant owners, contractors, etc. There are hundreds of posts every day from owners going, how do I use AI for my business? They are literally begging for help. And right now, almost anybody is filling that gap locally. Now, of course, you can fill the gap as an entrepreneur. You can charge them money for it, or you could just get hired by them as well. And here's the workflow that you sell. 4 steps. This is the exact framework that you use to walk into a small business, audit them, and set them up with Claude AI for $1,500 to $3,000. And most of these business owners will refer you to 3 other businesses within 30 days of seeing the value, because the word of mouth on this one is insane. So here's how to start. Pick one industry: real estate, fitness coaches, restaurants, accountants, cosmetic dentists, law firms, financial advisors, etc., etc. Anything that you have some familiarity with. For instance, we've worked with a lot of realtors that want to grow and make money on YouTube, and they've had great success working with us. Then you want to build one sample AI audit report, and you want to do it showing 3 specific use cases for that industry. Then you want to post it on LinkedIn or in 2 to 3 local business Facebook groups. And then you want to offer free 30-minute audit calls. 2 to 3 will close into paid setups. Usually a good idea to give a discount at first in exchange for a testimonial. Then you can get your first paid client in 14 to 21 days, or if you want to, you could probably just land a full-time job as well. All right, the next one I want to call the caption cannon, and that is the social media content manager. Now, to be fair, there are a lot of digital marketing related positions that you can have a ton of success with. And we've actually helped a ton of people get digital marketing jobs. For instance, Brian was 59 years old and we helped him land a digital marketing job. And if you want to see exactly how we did that, we will put that down in the description in the pinned comment below. That'll take you to a free training that shows you exactly how it's done. But every single business with a social media presence is fighting the same battle. They need volume. They need consistent on-brand posts going out every day across multiple platforms. And almost none of them have time to do it themselves. So the pay here is $500 to $3,000 a month per client. You can stack 3 to 5 clients and you've got 10K per month business. And here's the move. With Claude AI, you can write a week's worth of posts for one client in about 30 minutes. That same week used to take a human 6 to 8 hours easily. And that's a very skilled human. So what you want to do here is either interview the client and ask them questions, or if they don't want to be interviewed for whatever reason, take content that they've already made, whether it's a newsletter that they send out to their email list, them answering client questions, etc., etc. Just find some source of content that they have already made and use that to make more content, and then upload that into AI and make it for them. So think of yourself like a caption cannon. You load up the topic, you pull the trigger with Claude, and 30 posts come flying out in different formats. Instagram captions, LinkedIn posts, X threads, TikTok hooks, all optimized for the platform. And you can search social media manager on Upwork, and there will be hundreds of active gigs paying $1,000 to $3,000 a month per client. And the smart ones are using Claude AI to deliver 5x the volume. So boom, 22 posts, 30 minutes of work, 1 client, $1,500 a month, multiply that by 5 clients. So here's how to get started. Again, pick one niche: fitness, finance, e-com, real estate, etc. Build a portfolio of 1 week of content for a fake brand in that niche. Post the same samples on LinkedIn or X. DM 15 small business owners in your niche, offering 1 free week of done for you content. From those 15 DMs, 2 to 3 will say yes. Convert 1 to 2 to a $1,000 to $1,500 per month retainer, and get your first client within 10 to 14 days. As always, you can do the first ones free in exchange for a testimonial or at a steep discount. This is something that's generally a good idea to do. And on top of that, oftentimes you can just land a job instead. All right, next one is the grant hunter. And this one might be the most slept on opportunity on the entire list. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but I used to work for a 501c3 nonprofit, and I would help them write grants. I actually worked for a nonprofit where we took in lions, tigers, bears, mountain lions, etc., that were used as pets by people who didn't really know how to keep them as pets. And when they got too big, they couldn't keep them anymore, and we would take them in. And I was actually in the cage with lions and tigers at a very young age. And so I know a bit about grant writing, and there are some incredible opportunities here. So every year, the US government, foundations, and corporations give away literally billions of dollars in grants to nonprofits. But the problem is, most small nonprofits don't have the budget for a full-time grant writer. So they hire freelancers, and the pay is typically $1,000 to $5,000 per grant application. Now, some grant writers also take a small percentage of the awarded funds, which can hit 5 figures per win. Now, the reason this is so high paying with so little competition is that most freelancers find grant writing intimidating and a bit boring as well. But with Claude AI, it's not intimidating, but it still might be a little bit boring. But there's billions in the boring. So think of it like a treasure hunter. The treasure is already buried. Billions in grant money sitting there waiting to be claimed. You're the one who knows where to dig and how to write the map. And sites like GrantWatch and grants.gov list thousands of active grant opportunities right now. And every single one needs a written application. Most nonprofits applying are doing it poorly, and that's why you can win. So drop in the brief, hit enter, and you've got a 4,000 word grant application in a very short period of time. Tighten it for 30 minutes. You can also search Claude skills to see if anyone's actually made a grant writing application. But yeah, tighten it in 30 minutes and you can charge a lot of money for this. And you might not believe that it's this easy, but the truth is most people who are really good at writing grants are on the older side and they simply have not adjusted to AI. And most people who pay for grant writing are also on the older side and they also haven't adjusted to AI. So there's a lot of opportunity here. Now here's how to start. Find 5 small nonprofits in your area on GuideStar or by Googling your city nonprofits. Email each one offering to write 1 grant application on contingency. You only get paid if they win, or a flat $1,500 fee. The contingency plan wins you the test client. Build your portfolio with 2 to 3 wins, then move to flat fee pricing. You can land your first gig in 30 to 45 days. Okay, so now you've got the 5 jobs, you've got the prompts, you've got the playbooks, but how do you actually land one of these? Because most people watching a video like this are gonna close their laptop and never apply to anything. And I don't want that to be you. Now, there are standard methods and these can be good, but they're a bit slow as well. And this is what everybody tells you to do. Upwork, Fiverr, LinkedIn, Twitter DMs, cold email. Do they work? Yes. Should you do them? Absolutely. They're the baseline. Sign up, build a profile, start applying, and you'll land gigs. But here's the problem. You're one of hundreds of applicants, right? Your profile is competing with people in countries with way lower cost of living, and your proposal is buried in a stack of 80 generic pitches. It's slow, it's grinding, and it's honestly kind of soul-sucking. But there's a way faster way to land these jobs, and almost nobody talks about it because it requires you to do something most people are too lazy to do. So the fastest way to land any of these jobs isn't applying for them, it's making content. Now hear me out, because I'm gonna tell you the story of a client of mine named Josh Madakor. Josh runs a YouTube channel about IT and cybersecurity. And he's got over 210,000 subscribers. Not huge by YouTube standards, and he is not a million subscriber creator. He's a niche guy in a niche category. But here's what's wild. Companies started chasing him down. Not the other way around. He didn't apply to them. He didn't cold email them. He didn't even have an active LinkedIn pitch going on. We're talking Fortune 50 companies. Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Google. Microsoft, right? Companies that, and let this sink in, have lower acceptance rates than Harvard and Yale. Companies that turn away 95 to 98% of applicants. And they were the ones reaching out to him offering jobs and contract work. And Josh ended up working as a contractor at Microsoft. And that was his dream opportunity. He got a remote job and he was able to live in Japan and travel the world and do whatever he wants. Now, what does this have to do with you today watching this video, wanting one of the 5 jobs I just covered? Everything. Pick one of the 5 jobs we just talked about, just one, the one you're most interested in. Then go make 30 days of content showing your work in that lane. An email copywriter, post 1 teardown of a famous brand's email every day on LinkedIn or X. Show what's working. Show what you'd improve. Show your version using Claude AI. You can even make a quick Loom video. It doesn't even take that long, showing what your Claude AI workflow is. An AI consultant for small businesses? Post case studies, workflows, use cases. Here's how I just helped a real estate agent automate their listings using Claude AI. Do that for 30 days straight, and I promise you, the dynamic reverses. The clients will start chasing you. The recruiters will slide into your DMs. The opportunities will show up while you sleep. And that's what Josh figured out, right? That's how he ended up getting all of these offers. And that is the cheat code that nobody on Upwork is ever gonna tell you. The job market rewards the people who refuse to play the same game as everyone else. So be that person. And the absolute best way to do this, by far, the best way to establish yourself as an authority, the best way to build your brand is on YouTube. And that's why I highly recommend that you check out our live workshop by clicking the link in the description in the pinned comment below. YouTube also happens to be one of the best side hustles and one of the best businesses you can start where you don't have to go full time and risk a bunch. You can do it in just a few hours a week and it compounds and it builds over time. And there's so many different directions that you can go and so many different ways that you can monetize your channel. It pretty much works with every other side hustle that you can possibly imagine. So definitely check that out. And also we do work with a very small amount of people, about 3 to 5 at a time, in either a one-on-one coaching capacity or just a done for you sort of agency type capacity where we literally just do YouTube for you. We just build out your entire channel and do everything for you. However, this is extremely time intensive and very difficult to do on our side, and we can only work with a few people at a time. But if you're a very busy professional like a doctor, a lawyer, something like that, or you're a business owner, or you're a YouTuber who's crushing it but you want to crush it even harder, then go ahead and apply for a call by clicking the link in the description in the pinned comment below. And we'll see if we're a good fit to work together or not. And also check out this video right here on exactly how we helped Josh grow his channel.